could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars. Maybe the birds will sing about your heart. Maybe the trees will whisper the word. Maybe the sun will spread your joy to the ones who lost their hope. Fill my head with roses. I can't help but dream away, standing on a field with you and flowers everywhere.
Hello sweet friends, welcome to my channel and thank you so much for clicking on another video of mine. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. It is packed full with crafts with my toddler and some homeschooling, since I am getting ready to homeschool next year. I'm homeschooling my 2-year-old son, who will be 3 next year, and he is going to be in, of course, pre-K. So I'm getting ready for all of that, starting to get my binders and books and everything organized. So that is what I'm doing right now, is just really getting all of my homeschool ready so I can be ready for next year when I start homeschooling him. And then I'm also going to be making some focaccia bread. I'm making a spooky Halloween focaccia bread, and with a design with all like the veggies on top of the bread. I'm also going to make just a sourdough loaf. We need more bread, so I just wanted to make that, but I put boo in it. It didn't turn out great, but I still tried. I put in the effort for another Halloween bread. And then I also made some tortillas, because we did need some tortillas around the house so we can eat them whenever, for like breakfast or lunch or dinner, whenever, but we just needed some tortillas. So that is pretty much everything we are doing in today's video. It is packed full with so much, so I hope that you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the inspiration, the motivation, the homemaking, the bread making, the crafts with my toddler. If you have some toddlers or some kids, then I hope that you do some crafts along with them. We are going to be making some wands, so they are just like nature wands. So we went around the block and picked up some sticks and leaves and just whatever we could find, and then we just made a nature wand for Lucas, and he ended up loving it but not really knowing what to do with it. But it was a lot of fun and just a good memory to make. But I hope that you enjoy today's video and get whatever you need from it, and thank you so much for spending some time with me.
Tell me you're scared. Tell me you're weak, but I know you're stronger than what you think. And I know it's hard. Yeah, I know it's rough.
So if you are getting ready to homeschool your child for next year as well, whether he's in or he or she or your kids are in different grades than mine for preschool, I have gotten started. Like if you want to get started and just don't know where to get started, I got started on Etsy. Etsy has lots of great printouts that all you have to do is just pay money. They're very affordable for some of them, and then they email you a PDF file that you can just print out everything that you bought, whatever you like that is on Etsy for your homeschooling curriculum or whatever you want to print out. They just send you a PDF and you can print them out at your home or at Office Max or just wherever, honestly, and they are all ready to go, and it's super great and affordable and just easy. Or you can go to like Pinterest, and there's lots of free printouts that you can get on Pinterest. I actually have like a whole homeschooling board on my Pinterest that contains like crafts to do with my son and just printouts and just so much more. And then I also go to Canva and make my own printouts. So I make like some coloring pages with whatever's free on there, since I don't have like the Canva Pro. I just have like the free version. And then Instagram with some people that I follow. So like the curriculum I'm kind of going with, since he is in preschool, is very easy and laid back. It's very nature and just kind of grocery shopping, cleaning, cooking, going out to our garden and planting our garden and just all that kind of stuff, being out in nature a lot, but very easy, very simple for his small little brain, especially since it's preschool. And so there's just so many ways you can get printouts, free printouts. And if I can if I can get my links to all the printouts, I will leave them down in the description for you if you are interested. And then these books as well that I showed you, like there's Wipe Clean books and just some other books that have like tracing and colors and numbers and just so much more. I got those from like Amazon, has some really affordable ones. Target's very affordable with those books. And Barnes & Noble, when school is in season, they have some buy one get 50% off of books. So that is pretty much where I got all of my books, is just Amazon, Target, and Barnes & Noble. But you can find them in so many other places, but they do have some really good ones. And again, if I can find those links, I will leave them down in the description. And I also just have some like glued sticks and tape and pens and sticky notes and everything like that. I also have like a hole puncher, and those you can find at your local store as well. But once again, I'll try to leave all the links down in my description, as well as like my Pinterest boards. So if you are interested in looking at those to get some ideas, it will be down there. But I hope this helps a little bit. So now it is craft time, and as you can see, my son and I are in our front yard, and we are going to go on just a neighborhood walk to pick up some leaves and sticks and whatever he can find and whatever he is interested in. Right now he was interested in the dog across the street from us. He just kept saying black dog, black dog. So he was very interested in that. But then we started going, and he just started collecting all these different leaves and all these different sticks. And I really like to get out with him, whether that's just outside in our backyard or our front yard, or going to grab the mail, or going around the block, going to the park. Obviously these are normal things, but I really like to get him to like hold a basket and pick up things that he can find, just so he can like start getting aware of like different nature items. Like I love going out to the mountains to get pine cones and acorns and again leaves, and just really getting out of our comfort zone and just starting something new and getting something new. And then we got back home after that, and I did have to do the wand, since he doesn't really know how to still do crafts. He's very new to this. He is only 2 years old, so of course I just had him sit right next to me. He was very interested in the camera. He loves looking at himself in my little camera viewfinder reflection thing where you can see yourself. He loves looking at himself, even on his phone when I'm like FaceTiming his dad or like his nana. He loves just looking at himself. He is crazy. But I just had him sit right next to me, and I did try the wood glue very first with like the leaves, thinking like, oh, I could glue it. That did not work, so I did just end up taping them. And this wand does not have to be perfect. All it has to do is just give them some imagination and make them feel creative, and just give them something new to experience, like a wand. Like he can be a wizard, he can be a witch, he can wave it in the air and just have fun with it and say different things. So it does not have to be perfect. You are doing great. Whatever craft you are doing great, and he is doing great, or your daughter's doing great. You guys are doing amazing. So it does not have to be perfect. It just has to be there for some creative outlet, and just get them imagining things, and it's just fun. So mine does not look perfect, but it was a lot of fun to make with him. It was a big struggle, but once it was made, we went outside, and you could see he was having a little blast for 1 second. He was waving it in the air and pointing it towards me, and it was just so fun to do this little craft with him.
Thoughts about us were just illusions. They could not sourdough.
Now that we are back inside and I already did some homeschooling stuff, getting that all organized, and then also did a craft with my son, I am now going to take some time to make some bread. So I'm just going to get started by making the dough. I have shown this multiple times here on my channel, so it's nothing new, but I did just share it a little bit more if you are new to my channel and have not seen me make bread yet. It's very simple. I have tons of recipes on my Pinterest that you can go look at, or you could look at them on yourself, or you might even have some recipes or on your Instagram or anything like that. But I'm starting off just making my regular sourdough dough so I can start making my bread, and then I'm also going to make my dough for my tortillas and then set that aside, and then lastly I am going to make my focaccia dough and just let it rise and do its thing. But that's all happening here until we really get started going with like the focaccia and finishing up the breads.
When it's over, I will see what I've done. Let it go too soon. Oh, I'll be stronger if you just step right in. 'Cause I need a start to let you in. Days pass and I'm still the same inside my head, and I can't stop thinking about what you said. I gotta tear my wall apart, and it's the only way to start to let you in. When it's over, I will see what I've done. Letting go too soon. Oh, I'll be stronger if you just step right in. 'Cause I need a start to let you in. Hey, darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city light. Hey, darling.
With focaccia bread, you really want it to soak up as much olive oil as possible, and I used regular olive oil, but then I also made some herbed olive oil and let that soak for like the last little round. And then I also did already show you that I stretched and folded my dough, my sourdough bread dough. You have to stretch and fold it 4 times for every 30 minutes. So it takes 2 hours. I only showed you 2 times that I stretched and folded it. Well, pretty much 3. But after I stretched and folded it, I just let it sit for a very long time so it could start rising. And then with the focaccia, I wanted to stretch it out and then just lather it with tons of herbed olive oil. And then I'm just going to let it do its thing and just let it rise. And then once it has risen enough, that is when I'm going to start chopping all the veggies and start decorating it and then bake it.
Couple of tunes in a car for 2. Hey, darling, you know we're gonna have a really good time, driving in the middle of the night when the stars are bright. Pack our bags and get in that car. Leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday. Baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey. Come on now and take my hand.
The veggies I ended up using are some bell peppers. I have this green bell pepper and then an orange bell pepper to represent pumpkins. And then I also had some mushrooms, and those were to represent just regular mushrooms or some skulls or whatever you really want to do with those mushrooms. You could also make a skeleton head out of it. And then I had a white onion, and that white onion served as like bones to the skeleton. Or trees or anything like that. And then I also cut up a red onion, same thing for trees and bones. And then some olives, black olives for spiders. And then just whatever left was like some more bell peppers or just anything we could make anything out of for like stars, or this onion as well as like a moon. So those are kind of like the ideas with these vegetables that we will be using for our focaccias. And I'm making a spooky focaccia bread, and so is my mom, so we are both doing this together. And I also do have the picture already on my Instagram, Our Little Bloom, if you want to go see how it turned out once it was final. You will also be seeing it in this, but you can see my Instagram version, and it's on my Instagram, our.little.bloom, and you can go check that out. But this was such a fun idea. I would love to do this for every holiday and season, but it does take a very long time, but it is just so much fun to do, and the Halloween spooky version just turned out so good.
And I thought you'd change, you go back to the same old ways. Yeah, I'm so done with you. I hope that it made you feel good.
So now I am going to start decorating my focaccia bread, and I am doing two little pumpkins on the side, one taller and one smaller, and one of them has a jack-o'-lantern face. And then I'm also going to be using like the red onion as a big creepy tree, and then I put some mushrooms below the tree so that I can have like a little mushroom place, and they're just regular mushrooms. And I also added a skull face, and my brother, he was over and he's very creative. He is like an artist, so he was like cutting out everything with like the vegetables and a knife and then handing them to us. So he made me a skull face and a witch's hat, so I put that on top of like the skull, and then I added like some spiders and then the onion as a moon, and I also added like another spider. And afterwards I also added like a Frankenstein face, an eyeball, and some stars at the top. But I did turn off the camera when I was doing those, just because it was a very long process, and those kind of went afterwards. But at the once it's finished and baked, you will see all of those, and it just turned out so good. I loved it so much, and again, it was just so fun getting creative with some vegetables just to make a spooky design.
Yeah, I'm so done with you. And I thought changed, but you go back to the same old ways. Yeah, I'm so done with you. Baby, it's a big dark world. You don't need to know about that. Don't need to know about that. I'll protect you with my lies. You don't need to know about that. Don't need to know about that. Just let me love you. Just let me love you. Just let me love you.
And now I have my sourdough bread loaf, and I just rolled it out onto parchment paper, and then I'm going to start cutting it. The score razor that I was using was not working, so I did just grab my scissors and cut it open with my scissors, but it did not work the best. It said boo before I baked it, but then after I baked it, it did not turn into anything. Like, I could not see the boo. So this one was a fail, but it's alright to have some fails. Bread is very hard to work with, and especially like cut and make beautiful designs, especially for me. If you do it amazing, then good job to you, because I don't. But I tried and it turned out before I baked it, but then after it baked, it turned into nothing. But it was still delicious, and we have some sourdough bread for whenever we want to eat it. This is also what the focaccia looks like after it just came out of the oven, and now it's all baked, and the veggies still look so good. And this focaccia was so delicious. In my next video, you will see me making a butternut squash soup from scratch, and I warm up this focaccia bread so we can eat it with that soup, and it is so delicious with like the vegetables and the herb focaccia bread with that butternut soup. It is so delicious. So stay tuned for that video as well, because there's lots of motivation in it, and then there's also a butternut squash soup recipe.
Just let me love you. Just let me love you. Just let me love you.
And here is the bread once it just came out of the oven. It still looks beautiful. It just did not turn out how I wanted it to, but it still looks so delicious and so beautiful. So I'm still happy that I got a sourdough bread loaf. Okay, sweet friends, we are almost done with this. We are just making our tortillas now. This is the last thing that I am making in today's video. I'm just going to roll out all the tortillas that I am making. I did 2 batches of the dough so that we could have extra tortillas, because I am doing like a taco night, and then we love having like breakfast burritos in the mornings, and then also some quesadillas. So I am making way more tortillas than normal. And then I'm going to put them on our cast irons, and since it was such a long day and my body was starting to ache, my feet were starting to ache, I did grab all 3 of my cast iron pans, and I just kept putting more and more tortillas in them. I was just ready to kind of call it a night. So that is why there are so many cast iron skillets here on the oven, and I'm just putting a tortilla in each of them. And so yeah, this is just pretty much it. Baking all the tortillas, making all them. But I hope that you enjoyed today's video and enjoyed all the bread making, the craft with my toddler, the homeschooling, just everything. There will be a lot more crafts and homeschooling in my videos from now on, since that is kind of where I am going. I have been planning for a very long time to homeschool my son, so you will be seeing him a little bit more often in my videos. I still try to keep him very private, because he does not have consent yet to say yes, I want to be in your videos, or no. So I still try to keep it very private, but when I do show him, I do like to keep that for myself. I am his mother, and I love to look back at these videos and be like, oh my gosh, look how little he was, look how young he was, look at that craft we did. It's very sentimental to me, and it holds a lot of love. So when I show him, it's mainly for me to look back on, but I also do love sharing some ideas and tips and just some family moments with you all. So I hope that you guys enjoy those. But thank you so much for spending your time with me. I know this was a longer video and there was a lot in it, but thank you so much. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope that this video inspired you and motivated you, and the links will be down in the description if you want them or are interested in them. But I will see you all again next time. Bye friends. Also stay tuned for the next video to come, because that one has the butternut squash soup in it.